Hey guys, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Today I'm going to open up and review these Olafus outdoor wireless speakers with lights on them. And I'm going to compare them to some of my other speakers I have. This is a JBL Link 500 speaker. It's only AC powered, no battery. And then this one is a Insignia speaker. These are both smart speakers that tie to Google. But this one does have a battery, and that's what it's on right now. It also has the AC adapter. But I'll compare how these guys work out compared to these, what features are different. I think there's going to be some pros and cons to both of them. But let's kind of open this box up and play with these guys and see how they do, and then we'll compare them as well, and I'll let you know what I think of them. Alright, so this is obviously a pair of them. You can also buy just one at a time, but this is a pack of two, and then what it comes with here, besides the instruction manuals, is a couple cables. So one of the cables is for charging the unit. So that goes from a standard USB A to a, looks like a micro USB to plug these in. And the other thing that's nice about it is that it includes a standard 3.5 millimeter headphone cord, so you can plug your phone, although I'll say most phones don't have those plugs anymore. If you have a newer Samsung or Apple device, at best you have an adapter, which in fact I have one right here because I have a Samsung phone without a headphone jack. Anyways, I need to charge these up probably, and I think the charging time is 3 to 5 hours, something like that. And then what they tell you is that it will get even up to 15 hours of battery life when it's fully charged if you are like at mid volume and not using the lights. But that's one thing that's kind of neat about this. All underneath here you can see those little LED lights that go on here, so we'll show how that works out. And then I also want to compare the sound quality. Obviously that's another important fact here. It has a I think it's a 3-inch diameter mid speaker, and then a 1-inch tweeter that is above it, and I can already tell it has rubber feet, which is kind of nice. At least when I'm in here, it has a nice, it sticks, it doesn't slide. That's the other good thing about that. And then at the top here we have our button. So we obviously have a power button, we have the light brightness button, we have volume up and down, and then this little guy looks like an hourglass. That is the pair button for your phone, so that you can pair it to Bluetooth. So let me read the instructions and figure out how to do this real fast, and then we'll pair it and start playing some music. Alright, so I'm going to pair to just one of them first, and then they kind of auto pair. I'll kind of show that, how that works, where they will pair together so they act as a stereo unit. And so to do this, I'm just going to power this guy on by pressing and holding the power button until you hear the noise, and then you see the light is flashing. Obviously my lights are red here. So I'm going to go into my phone and have it scan for a new device. And I think it's called A Speaker 7 according to these instructions. Yep, sure enough, A Speaker 7. So now I paired with that one so I can play music. Now the other thing I can do is I can power this one on, and I think within 5 seconds I press and hold a little bit longer. I think they're supposed to pair together there. So I think that noise is them pairing together. And now let me go to some music here. Oh, you know what? YouTube is funny with music. So maybe as far as copyrights, let me find a copyright-free song to play. Alright, so they say you want these things to be about 15 feet apart. Give or take. If they're too close together, it says it can mess up the pairing. They're saying somewhere between 15 and 25 feet is kind of the ideal distance for the two units to be apart. Your phone can reach, depends on your phone, but maybe 30 to 50 feet kind of maximum. Let me try some of the light settings here. So these are different colors. If I just press the light button, I can go through these different cycles of lots of colors. Red, I don't know what color that is, kind of like a yellow green. That's a hard green. Like a blue, a darker blue, purple, and then a white. Now, then off, so you can have it off if you want to as well. So let me try to turn the volume up a little bit. They certainly get loud. The rest of the family's asleep, so hopefully I didn't wake them up. But certainly loud enough to enjoy something out on your patio, out around the bonfire, out camping, that kind of stuff. They're good for. It was also super quick to set up. I mean, basically it's like pairing any other Bluetooth device. You just turn it on, it's automatically, the first time it's in pairing mode. Search for it on your phone and you're good to go. One thing I will say is some of my other devices, like these behind me, don't have a headphone jack. Let me double check this one to make sure it doesn't. Right, so both, I just want to make sure I wasn't lying to you guys. Neither of these have a headphone jack. And that's a little bit annoying sometimes when we're in a scramble, you're setting up something quickly, or I have a friend come over, I'm like, hey, you just throw on some music, and you forget how each thing pairs. I have all the different things that they want to say, well, how do I pair to that one? I kind of forget. So having the good old-fashioned plug is really nice, and that is something that you can always use with these guys. You pop this little cover out, which appears to be semi-weather tight, and then you plug this in, obviously, to your device. So that's a nice feature I think I like about these as well. And then this one has the RGB, or the multicolor LED lights, but they make another one that's just the white light, and then I think it can also like kind of strobe that light with the rhythm of the music. So I haven't tested that out, but that sounds kind of neat too as well. But this one obviously is it's a constant light, or it can be no light at all. And I can turn these lights off and kind of see how bright it is. Let me go to a white on both of these. This one's a green now. Okay, let me turn these lights off and just see what it looks like. Alright, so I know that GoPros are really bad in low light situations, but what I'll tell you is that this is like a mood light. I certainly wouldn't say that it is like a lantern that you would have at camping so you can see all around. If I carry it around, I can see around me, but it's not super bright. It's enough that you can certainly see the device. You can see around you. I could walk around with just this one on for sure, but you're not lighting up very far away. But let me try this, and I guess I'm kind of conflicted on having them both together or just one at a time. These guys as a pair cost definitely less JBL Link 500, but one of them costs I think about the same as this Insignia device, so they're kind of in between. So I'll leave them both on there for now. And then let me try to play some music and switch between the devices. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some copyright-free guitar music, and I'll play it through these. I'll do about 40 seconds of it, where I'll play it through these first, then I'll play it through this guy, and then I'll play the same thing through this guy, all from my phone, all wireless, so at least it's all Bluetooth based. And we'll just see how it compares real fast. So let me play it from the Olafus speakers first, and as both speakers go, and the other one's about 5-6 feet over that way. This one's right here. Okay, so next up is the Insignia speaker. Okay, so now we got the JBL Link 500 speaker. Okay, so that's all three of them. You know, I'm not a audiophile, so I'm not some expert on sound quality and music. You know, my level of music is I listen to it like in the background in the barn, or if I'm out at the pond, or maybe around a campfire or whatnot. You know, I want it to sound clear and be able to get loud enough without being completely distorted that you can't enjoy it. So I'm not going to give you the highest critique here, but what I'll say is what's notable is this guy, even though I think he can probably get the loudest, and I need to maybe do some testing outside here, especially when all the kids aren't asleep, but the low end of this one, the bass is awfully I'm not sure how to describe it, maybe boomy. It's not very clear and distinct, and so it kind of overshadows the other mid and higher frequency stuff more so than these other ones. So that's the downside of this. You know, I've played with the settings. You can turn down obviously the bass some in there to try to make it better. Between these two, I feel like they're fairly close, especially if it's just one versus one. The big difference is with the second one added, it's not, you know, obviously you get more volume in a certain area because you can have two sources of it, but it's also a more equal amount of sound. So if I have one on either side, that's the nice thing about it that I like. Whereas this one, you can definitely tell that it's from a single source unit. But the sound quality felt about the same to me. You know, I can't nitpick a lot. If I had to pick, the Olafus was a little bit better, especially with two of them, because you're able to have the volume lower, you know, at each unit for the same sound level at you, and because of that you get less distortion at the same sound. So If I had to pick which one I would use outside, it would be these guys versus this one. The other win that the Olafus has is battery life for these. You know, it claims 15 hours, which I haven't tested that. That seems like a lot for one of these units fully charged, and that's about at half volume. If you turn up to full volume and you use the lights, I think it's about 6 hours. So either way, even 6 hours, I'm definitely not typically out listening to music longer than that, where I'm away from a power source. If you do have a power source, obviously you can plug this guy in with a USB cord to keep it powered on. This guy, you know, I forget the hours, but it's probably more like 4 to 5 hours. So certainly about half, give or take, of what these would do for a similar amount of time. And then I think if you had 2 of them out there, because you bought the pair of them, that it might even last even longer than double the life of this one, because you can have the sound down a little bit because you have 2 speakers. So you know, the other features that this has that these don't have, obviously, is lights, but this one also has a clock and a temperature for where you're currently at. So, you know, that's a nice thing there. This one I leave in my barn, and I typically use it, one, to keep track of time, and then also to play music when I'm in there. These have a little bit of a different, you know, focus. These I would bring outside in the barn if I'm out cutting wood or chopping metal, and I have it outside the barn. It's really nice. I can just unplug it and bring it outside. These ones are really designed to be charged up and then used on battery. And so for that, it's going out to the pond, maybe grilling out on the deck where you don't have an easy power source, or if you're doing a bonfire. And then by having the light, which is optional, you can always turn the light off completely and save some battery life. But by having the light, you can, one, set the mood. You can also use it as a source of illumination. If you're, say, having a bonfire and you gotta walk back to the tent, back to the house, whatever it is enough light that you can use it for guidance and walking. You know, with them pointing down, it's not going to light up out on the sides, but it's enough to see down. And so if I'm at a bonfire and I've been drinking beverages and I need to go get rid of them, this would certainly be enough light to pick up and carry out to the woods and take care of that kind of stuff. So overall, this looks like a good unit, and I'm going to test it some more outside. I'll probably bring all these outside, and I'll crank them up a little bit more and just see how they do, and I'll let you know. Alright, so I've been messing with these for a couple more days now and comparing them to my other speakers that I have. I must say I'm pretty impressed with how loud they can get. They can certainly fill up this entire house. You know, the main floor, or the main footprint is like 2,500 square feet. It's fairly open layout, but still, these guys have more than enough volume to fill up that entire space without a problem, and doesn't sound distorted. The other thing I noticed is the volume buttons. You press and hold them to change the volume like this, and it beeps at you. If you just press it once, either plus or minus, it actually changes the song. It goes to the next song or the previous song, which is kind of nice. And then the light modes. This one is the multicolor. It does also have the I forget what they call it, but basically the lights try to sync with the music as far as flashing. I found that annoying, and so I don't do it. But this does have all the different colors, and you can set it in a mode where the light will flash with the music. And then you know, besides that, they work well. I haven't tested the battery life. You know, it would be nice if there was some kind of battery indicator. I'm not sure if the little LED on the top changes color or lets you know. I haven't seen anything there. But overall, I would recommend these. These things are pretty good, and you can use them outside for a party. And like I said, these things are supposed to last a long time. So I'm looking forward to using them.